In this video, we're going to talk about propane conversion kits. In rural areas or places where natural gas is not piped, if a homeowner wants a furnace, a gas furnace, their only option would be a propane conversion, and this would be a propane tank that would be located outside of the house somewhere in the yard. Almost all of your gas furnaces today are able to run on propane gas. But in order to do so, they need to be converted to properly run on propane. Here we see a comparison of propane to natural gas, and you'll notice that propane runs about $90 to $200 a month, depending on your usage, whereas natural gas would run $30 to $60. So propane is a lot more expensive than running a furnace on natural gas, but usually in rural areas, it's about your only option. The efficiency of propane is a lot higher at 2,516 BTUs per cubic foot in relation to natural gas, which is 1,030 BTUs per cubic foot. So the comparison is clear that propane is more efficient, but it also costs more. So as previously stated, the gas furnace that is manufactured to run on natural gas needs to be converted to run on propane gas. So that is the reason why there's a propane conversion kit that is available for all gas furnaces. One of the big differences with the propane kits versus the natural gas are the orifices, which they will supply different sized orifices in the propane kits. You will notice that for the same BTU output, the orifice size for natural gas is larger than that of propane. At a 90,000 BTU furnace, propane is a lot smaller and natural gas is a lot bigger. So the orifices need to be changed when you're going to convert a gas furnace to propane gas. This is the low pressure switch that usually comes with a propane conversion kit, which is to be installed on the gas valve as part of the propane conversion. This low pressure switch is designed to shut down the furnace when the gas level gets too low in the tank to maintain proper gas pressure on the manifold, which will stop flame rollback or other issues from low gas pressure. So in the conversion kit, you will be directed to install this low pressure switch on the gas valve, which is designed for natural gas, but needs to have this low pressure switch attached to it in order to complete the conversion to propane gas. So you will see a diagram much like this, which will show you that the nipple for the low pressure switch is installed on the inlet pressure tap port. So follow the directions closely and install this low pressure switch on the gas valve. In the propane conversion kit, you're going to have various items. Some of them you may not need to use, but follow the directions. You will definitely have orifices that will be different drill sizes, and depending on your location and altitude, the directions will direct you via a chart of what size orifice you will need to install. And then, as we stated, you will have the low gas pressure switch, the LGPS, that will need to be installed. There may be some wiring, as the low pressure switch needs to be wired into the furnace. And then you will have a number of rating plate labels that you will need to put onto the furnace, and gas control conversion labels showing that the furnace has been converted. So if anyone comes after you, they'll know that it's been converted to propane gas. The other thing that's installed in the gas propane conversion kit would be the regulator spring, which is necessary to increase the pressure on the gas valve for the propane gas. So when installing a propane kit, please follow all the warnings and cautions that are on the kit and on the furnace itself, because the information in these instructions, if they're not followed exactly, a fire or explosion may cause property damage, personal injury, or loss of life. So don't fool around with this kind of conversion, as it is very important to follow all safety practices and make sure that you are following the directions implicitly. There must be a regulator installed at the propane tank. Usually the gas supplier supplies the regulator. Just check to make sure that one is installed. The other important component of the propane conversion kit is the regulator spring that is supplied with the propane kit. You'll notice that the regulator spring, when you have natural gas, is usually 10 turns to achieve the proper pressure, whereas with the propane spring, it's only 6 turns. So make sure that the regulator spring on the gas valve has been changed according to the instructions in the propane conversion kit. We noted previously that the conversion kit will have a chart in it which will show you the pressures and the orifice that you need to have for the propane conversion. You'll notice that for propane gas, the inlet pressure needs to be maintained between 11.5 to 13.6 inches of water column. If you're installing the orifices at a 0 to 2,000 foot altitude, you will need a number 55 orifice and maintain the manifold pressure at 11 inches of water column. And this is for a single stage furnace. If you go above 2,000 feet, then you will have to change the orifice to a 1.30 and 11 inches of manifold pressure. So when changing out a furnace with a propane kit, make sure that you check this type of chart and make sure that you have the proper orifice and the proper manifold pressure. So here we have a similar chart for a multi-stage furnace. We're still maintaining 11.5 to 13.6 incoming pressure inches of water column. And at 0 to 2,000 feet, we're still installing a number 55 orifice, but we have a high and a low manifold pressure of 11.0 for high and a 5.8 for low. So again, verify with a chart like this that you're installing the correct orifice and that you have the correct manifold pressure. So to recap, when installing a propane conversion kit, follow the manufacturer's instructions very carefully. Observe all warnings and cautions. And when dealing with gas, whether natural or propane, always make sure the home has a carbon monoxide detector that is operational.
Go to arefco.com for more videos. Like, subscribe, and check back every week for new videos.